In this video, we learn to create a memory game in LWC. We learn in this video, we learn to create a memory game in LWC. So the game gonna look like this, and we gonna learn the following topics while building the game. So first we'll see how to create a lightning page, then we'll see how to create a component, then we'll see how we can create the grids using a CSS grid. Then we'll see how we can add and remove the classes. We're going to use query selector to fetch the element reference. For the images, or I would say icon, we're going to use a font or some library. And to load that library, we're going to use the static resources. And to load that library in the component, we're going to use the render callback. Then we have a looping in the HTML. To load the grid in the loop, we're going to use the for each loop. Then we have a timer in our game. For that, we're gonna use the set timer, set interval function. We have a feature to start and stop the interval. Then we're gonna use a model for showing you the congratulation message once you complete the game. And we're gonna use a getters in few places. So let's go to the working demo first, just to get a look and feel how it's gonna look like. So this is our memory game where you will see how many moves you have done and what's your timing, and you can restart the game. Then if you select one and the second image match with the first one, you see the animation is coming, color is coming. And if you select one and other image doesn't match, the red color icons are coming, and it's just with the animation it's going. On single click also, the flip is very clean. We are using the CSS animation here. So this is what we are building, and on click of this we are resetting the game. So let's go to our org first, and let's create a lightning app. So let's go to lightning app builder. In the setup, I search lightning, I select lightning app builder. I'm clicking a new lightning page, and I'm selecting a app page. Click next. We'll give this name memory game LWC. We want only one region, so we'll take the one region option and we hit finish. Right now our component is not ready, so just let's save the current page empty only. Let's activate the page, and we gonna place this page to our app that we are using throughout this course, that is Zero to Hero in LWC. Add page to the top, hit save, and now done. Let's go back, search for our app name, Zero to Hero LWC, and here we should able to see our app name, memory game in LWC. And now the page is ready, so the first step is completed. Now let's go to our VS Code and create a lightning component that we're gonna use for this page. I'll go to command palette, select create lightning web component. I'll say the name memory game LWC. Memory game LWC is my component name. I'll take the default path, and my component is ready. So let's design some layout. I'll go to the HTML. First, I'll create a wrapper with the class container. And within this container, we're going to write our whole app. I'll say lightning card, title is memory. And within this container we're going to write our whole app. I'll say lightning card, title is memory. I'll say score area here in the text, and the second section is our text. Our main content. I'll say score area here in the text, and the second section is our game panel, game area, and layout wise it's done. Let's go to our meta file because we want to deploy this, and to make this component available in the page we have to do some configuration change. I'm changing is exposed to true and targets to a lightning app page because I'm gonna place this component in the app page. So let's deploy this. Now the component is deployed. Let's go to our page. Hit the gear icon, click edit page. On the left hand side we're gonna search our component name, and our component name is memory game LWC. Let's place this. Hit save. Let's go back. And now our card is ready, our layout is ready, but we want our card to be in the center. So what we're going to do is we'll do the right click, inspect, and now I'll show you how in the real-time project we write the CSS. So I want to apply a CSS to the container class, and here what I'm going to do is I'll say display flex. It takes the width that is taken by the content basically. Then I'll say justify content center, bring the content to the center. I want item align to be center, and the last thing that I want is flex direction to be column. I'll copy this CSS and go back to my VS Code, and we're gonna create a CSS file here, memory game LWC, and CSS file name should be the same name as the folder name with the extension CSS. We'll say container class CSS. We give the class with the dot notation, so container class should apply this CSS. Container class is already here, and let's deploy this. It's deployed now. Let's go back and refresh the page. So the page creation is done, component creation is done, CSS file creation is done. Now we want some icons to make our grids, and for icons we're gonna use a Font Awesome library. It's one of the most popular library in the web community, and in this there are thousands of icons available, and you don't have to download this library explicitly. You can find the downloaded version of this file in your resources of the video. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna load this library to our static resources. So let's go to this gear icon, hit setup. Setup, what we're gonna do is we'll say static and select the static resources. We'll create new, say font awesome, choose a file, font awesome. This folder you can download from the resources of the video. I'll make the cache control public, hit save. So now static resources has the font awesome. Now let's go to our VS Code and fetch this static resource. And to fetch this, we already know we need load style because font awesome is a CSS file, not a JS file. So we're gonna use load style method from lightning slash platform source loader module. So this module gives us a method called load style, and load style will load the CSS. And whenever we load a third party library, we always use a render callback mostly. You can load in the other place as well, but render callback gives us assurance like whenever the HTML content loaded successfully, then only I'll be apply. Okay. So render callback is a lifecycle hook. We'll say load style, load in this component. That's why the context comes first, and the context of this component is a this. Then we need font. We need to import the library first. So we'll say import font awesome from @Salesforce resource URL and our library name. Our library name is font awesome, and the font awesome is a zip folder that we have uploaded basically. So what we're gonna do is import the font awesome reference, and then within that go to the font awesome folder because that was a zip file, right? So within the zip file you will have another same name folder mostly. So we also have under the font awesome zip folder, we have a font awesome folder. Under that we have a CSS folder, and under that we have a library font awesome.min.css. So this will load our CSS file. Load style is a promise call, so it will return a promise on when it loads successfully. So we'll print this message if it loaded successfully. If there is an error, we can catch that error as well. Print that error in the console.error. And now there is a thing like render callback called every time whenever any change happen in the component basically. So I don't want my library to be loaded again and again, and to avoid that we're gonna create a local property is lib loaded and initialize it with a false, and we'll change this is loaded. Will first check in the render callback whether is loaded is available or not. If it's true, just return go outside of this render callback function. Otherwise, let's not use the shorthand notation, we'll use the else block properly, and we'll say else come to this else block and load the file. And outside this if and else, what I'm gonna do is I'll say let's see, let's inside the else only we'll make this dot is loaded is lib loaded. So once it comes to the else block, change this variable to true. So for the first time it will come to the else block, load the library, it will become true, and the next time whenever it comes to a render block is loaded will be true and it will return. So let's deploy this now. So it's deployed. Let's go back to our game. Let's refresh the page. Let's go to the console and you will see a message loaded successfully. So it means our font awesome library is available in the component and it's loading correctly. Now if we see this app, we have two sections, right? One is the score panel, the another one is the grid one. So let's start designing with the score panel first. Let's go back to our game. I'll go to the HTML, and in the HTML in the score panel, what we're going to do is we'll create a span. We'll say class moves, and we'll give the hard coded value to the move one, and we'll say move s, and we'll give some space as well. After this move, we have timer, and here I'll say 10 seconds, just a hard coded just for the designing layout. And after that, I want a class start click. On click we don't want right now, so I'll say, and let me show you how you can find the icons as well. So let's go to a font or some library. Just search for the icons under the icons. As I search for far diamond, I search for the diamond icon. So the syntax they have given with the I tag, give the class far and the icon name far diamond. So let's copy this and let's go back and paste it here. So we need a restart, means restart the game icon is there. So instead of diamond, I'll say start icon should repeat icon should come, because restart icon is not there, repeat icon is there in font awesome. So that will give us this type of icon. And if you, I can show you guys actually how to search the icons. Let's go to the icons. Here there are many icons, just search for the icon. So I'll say repeat. So see, repeat icon is there. If I click this and just copy the far repeat, and you can come here, just in there far repeat. So this will load the icon. Let's deploy this. Let's go back to our app, refresh the app, deploy it now. Now you can see content is coming, but it's not aligned right now. So what we're gonna do is we'll click on this arrow icon to select an element. We'll select the element. This is our score panel basically. And to score panel, we'll start writing some styling. I'll say text align left, and I'll say margin bottom, so that my main area of the card will not touch with the scorecard. So I'm giving a margin bottom 12 pixel. Now you see there is a padding margin coming between the score panel and the game panel. And after that, I'll open the section. I'll give styling to the timer. I want the timer to be aligned next to the moves. So I'll say display inline block, and I'll say some margin to the left and the right. So I'll say 0 1 rem. 1 rem is a 16 pixel. Now you see there are padding on the left hand side 16 pixel and the right hand side 16 pixel. And the like last CSS that I want to give here is the to the icon. So I'll say float right, just go to the right side, and right now on hover you see the icon is that arrow, but I want it to be a finger. So we'll say the pointer cursor to be a pointer. Now if I am hovering over it, now you see the hand icon is coming, that represent it is clickable. Let's add some margin here as well. So we'll say top and bottom 0 pixel and the right and left 8 pixel. So our design wise we are able to place correctly our core panel. So let's go and create the CSS for this, and we create another class core panel text align. The second CSS is timer. Let's go there and take the timer CSS that we have written, and the next one is the restart, I guess that, yes. And for restart, we have written a CSS. This one, let's paste it and let's deploy this. Now it's deployed. Let's go and refresh the page and see whether CSS is applying correctly or not. So now our score panel is aligned properly. Now let's start building the game panel. And now if I go back to the original game, here now we want these cards, and the card should have these icons basically. So what we're gonna do is we'll pick up total 8 icons, and we'll repeat those icons so that total 16 combination will form, right? So we have to use same icon twice basically. So overall 8 icon we're gonna choose, so that will make our 16 combination. So let's go and create some properties that we're gonna loop here. And now on the top itself, I'll some space here, and we'll create a property called cards. Cards we're gonna render there. Cards is an array of object. We want to give first object should have an ID. Then we want the list class. I want the each object should have a class card. Then we want more than type. What is the type of the card? That's not the type here. Let's go with the icon only, and we'll use the icon. So I suppose I have the far diamond icon that we have seen. Likewise, we're gonna create multiple objects. Make it true, make it 3. We'll give this as another icon class, that is far paper O. You can search anyone that you want. Then we'll give icon anchor. So you can get this that I am using from the resources. So I'll just paste it here. So the main thing to observe here is I have chosen 8 different icons. See, the diamond is repeating twice. Everything is repeating twice. Then only our memory game able to work it, right? Those they get to know. And I have added another property type as well, just to make sure this what's the type of this icon. Okay. So anchor is double, cube is double. So I have used different icon, and the icon names are here: fire bicycle, fire bolt, fire bomb. So this JSON you will get in the static resource. You can use that as it is. So now we have a card, and now we have to render this card on the game area basically. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a UL tag, that is a unordered list. We'll give some class. We'll say deck, card deck, and we'll say grid container. Within this grid container, we're gonna use the loop. We have the cards here, so we are running the loop on these cards, and each item is card. And within this looping, we want to use a li tag, that is a list tag, and we'll say each class should have card dot list class. So each list will have a card class basically, card dot list class. Then we have a type. Type is card dot type. Then we have to give the key, that is very important for the loop. So I'll say card.id. I'll close this list, and within this we have to load the icon, far icon, and the icon we are using with the card.icon, and we'll close this icon. So now we have the cards, we have looped the cards, and let's deploy and see how it looks right now without any CSS. So now the component is deployed. Let's go back to our app. Let's refresh the page. Now you can see that icons are coming, but there is no styling and nothing. So let's go and apply some style. So I'll show you very cool trick that CSS has introduced in the recent year. Earlier, the CSS was not having the capability to create the grids automatically, but now with CSS grid you can create that. So I'll select the UL tag here where I have a class grid container, and I apply some CSS. I'll say make this everything inside the UL tag as grid. Now it says how many columns you want and how many rows you want. So I'll say grid template columns repeat 4 of equal length. So now it converts. Now you see it convert the all list into the 4 columns of equal spaces. And what we're gonna do is we'll make the row as well of equal spaces. So I'll say grid template rows repeat 4 of equal spaces. Then we'll give some space between the grids. So I'll say grid column gap. So within the column I want 8 pixel, and I want a gap between a row 8 pixel. So now you see we get the 8 pixel gap in between. Apart from that, I want some styling for cards background basically. So I'll create a background, some color. I'll give the padding, so my card should not touch my background. So I'll give some padding 1 rem. I'll make a border radius so that the sharp edges look little bit curved, and I'm giving a 4 pixel. Now you see here the edge is gone. If I make it 0, the edges are sharp. If we increase, the edges are gone. And the last thing, we can give some box shadow. I'll paste CSS. I'll explain you. I want 8 pixel horizontal, 9 pixel vertical, 26 pixel should be the blurriness, and this color blurriness I'm looking for. So you see here little bit shadow is coming. So let's copy this CSS and paste in a class grid container. So I paste the CSS. Let's go and create the card as well. So within that we have a card here, each card. So if I hover here, I'm picking up the first card with the diamond, type diamond, and we're gonna say height should be 3.7 rem and width should be 3.7 rem. You can give the pixel value as well. I'm more comfortable with the rem. Then we want our margin around the cards 0.2 rem. So now we have given some margin as well. You can see that there is line is coming of margin, and I want a border as well. So the border background, not border, background should be there. I'm giving the background, and when the card is loading, right, so the icon should not be visible, and to hide the icon, just reduce the size of the icon. So I reduce the font size to a 0 pixel. and I want my all icons to be of white color basically. So if I remove this, now you see a white color icon is coming. We'll change all the icons to a white color. I want my this small card also to have border radius 5 pixels, so the edges should not be sharp. On hover, I want a cursor that is pointer, so I adding cursor pointer. Now I hover, you can see the hand icon is coming, and I want my icon, see it's right now on the top corner, right? So I want my icon to be in the center, so I'll say display flex, justify content center, and align items center. Now my icon is coming in the center, and I want my card to have some box shadow as well. Now it's properly aligned. Let's enable the font size 0 as well, so it will be hidden. So let's go and create a CSS for this as well. We'll say inside the deck or inside the grid container, I would say. Inside the grid container, wherever you have a card class, add the styling that we have just added. You can copy paste from there. I already have the style. Height, width, margin, font size 0, whatever we have assigned. That is done. Let's deploy this. Now it's deployed. Let's refresh the page. Now you see our grid is looking perfectly like this. And right now we haven't wrote any case for the functionality. Now hover is coming properly. Now on click, we want to flip this out and it should show us the icon. Let's go to our VS Code. Let's see how we can do that. So what we're gonna do first thing is we want a on click on the card. So on the list, we'll say on click, call a function display card, and in the AS file, we'll create the display card. This display card will take the event. It will receive basically an event, and we'll say let current card equal to event dot target. So whichever the card you have target, you are storing that reference in the current card, and we'll say within the current card you have a class list, and within that class list you add few more class. First class should be open. It means your card is open. Second thing is your card is shown. The show class should add. And the third thing is display disabled class should add. So what we are trying to do here is whenever the card flips, you should not again able to click that, right? And your card should be open, your class should be shown, and your class should be disabled. Okay, so we are adding these classes, and let's go and add these classes. So now we're gonna write the CSS. The first CSS we're gonna write for the class open. We'll say whenever we have an open class, and the open class will always with the card class, so that is both together. So whenever the open class is append to a card class, transform it to rotate Y. You want to see what it will do, let me show you. Let me hover to the card, say rotate 0. Right now it's not rotating because we haven't giving the animation right now. Okay, so we'll do that. Then I'll just copy paste and try to explain instead of typing. I'm saying give the background to a blue color while rotating. Cursor goes back to our default with that arrow icon and call the flip in Y animation. So now I'll show you how we write animation in CSS. And animation always start with the keyword keyframes. I'll paste it here. You will get all the code in the attachment of the video, so don't worry. So we are passing the animation name. It immediately look for this name with the keyframes keyword, and it will say from where I need to start rotating, what should be my timing function, what should be my opacity, and likewise it gives the animation for each percentage of flipping basically. So we are rotating to a 10 degree, then minus 20 degree, minus 5 degree, and 400 perspective. So likewise we are giving the open class. I know it is outside of LWC basically because this is CSS animation, and very rarely we use animation in LWC. Then the second class is show class. Once it show, first thing we want to do is our icon should go from 0 pixel font size 0 to some bigger size. So we'll say whenever the card has a show class, then make font size 33 pixel, and we can say opacity to be visible, visibility to be visible, opacity 100. Show class is there, and the last class that we are looking for is the disabled one. What we want is once the card is shown and open, you should not able to click that card again. For that, what we're gonna do is card with disabled CSS, add pointer event none, so it will stop the clicking functionality using CSS, and we'll say the card should look little bit dull, basically not bright but little dull. So let's go and see how it looks. I'm pushing the code now. So right now it just add the class on click all three classes, and we'll see whether the animation and the other stuff is working fine or not. It's deployed now. Let's go and refresh the page. Now if I click this, now you see it's flipping. This is the animation that we have given, but right now icon is not visible. So let's see what's happening here. So if I hover over the first card that I clicked, this card should have that class is now open, show and disable is coming, and font size is still 0 even though I have the open class. That it means it's overriding that, and the background color of grid container is overriding it. So let's go and fix this. So now we have seen our this class is having more preference over our other class. So there is a concept called specificity in the CSS. So let's increase the specificity of this. So let's add another class grid container. Now we are saying whenever the card plus open both classes are available within the grid container, use this. So now this has the less specificity because it has only one CSS, one class. Here it is a two class. Similarly, we'll do it for the show, and similarly we'll do it for our disabled as well. And let's deploy this. And now it's deployed. Let's go and refresh the page. And now if I click here, now you can see everything is coming in blue. Now what other things we have to focus is you should be able to open only two cards at a time. So we need to look into that. Let's go to our code again, and let's see what we can do in this. So right now we are able to add the show class successfully. Now we'll create another property on the top and we'll call it as open cards, and I initialize with the empty array, and I'll say this dot open cards equal to this dot open cards dot concat event dot target. So basically what I'm doing is whichever the card you have clicked, I am pushing into an array. I don't prefer the push or pop methods because those are not good from the immutability principle. So I want my code to be immutable. I'm not changing, I'm updating the new reference altogether. So I'm adding the each time I'm adding clicking on a card, I'm taking that card and pushing into the open cards. So it will know how many cards are open, and then I'll see, I will check. I'll create a variable called const length equal to this dot open cards dot length because it's an array, so it will gives me a length. And now I'm gonna check if the length of the card that you have opened is 2. Basically you already clicked the 2 cards. Then we want first thing are moves to increment. So we'll consider the moves only when you click twice on the card, right? Different card basically. So we'll create a property here called moves, and I initialize it with a 0. And here I'll say you if you click 2 cards, then first thing your this dot moves uh, equal to this dot moves plus 1. So it means your moves has been incremented. And in the HTML earlier we were using the hard coded value, we'll replace it with the moves property. Now you click twice, so moves also get incremented. Then we'll check, we'll say if this dot open card, so the um, first card in the open card array dot type equal to this dot open cards one dot type are same. So what we are trying to do here is now we push 2 cards into an array, and now we are checking both card type is same or not. So if it is same, we'll create another property called match card, and I'll go and create a property match card on the top. So this array will store the matched card, basically which all cards are being matched. So we'll say this dot match card equal to this dot match card dot concat, and dot, we are just pushing the both cards into our match card, open card 0 as well as open card 1. So if both card types match, we'll just push both the card to the match card array. So the match card is storing the card you already matched, and the open card is the last 2 open cards. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is if it is match, if it's not match, we'll call a method is dot unmatched, and if it is matched, we'll call a method called this dot matched. Let's go and create the matched function first. If these are matched, basically, right, we want to add a yellow color basically to our card. So if I go back to our complete application, and let me refresh this quickly, and I'll select this. So if this match, you see the yellow color we are adding, so this match class we want to add, even though after this I'm not able to click this. So I want it this card to be disabled as well. So in the match, we'll say first this dot open cards. First, whatever the cards that are open, we want class list dot add matched. Not match, we'll make match only. And we want to add another class disabled. Similarly for open card 1 as well, like second card index 1. And what we want is the 0 card. Earlier we were having the class show and open, so we'll remove that show and open class. From the first and from the second open card as well, we will remove the show and open class. So we are just removing the show and open class, we are just adding the match class. And once this is assigned, what we're gonna do is we'll empty our open cards, because this is taking the reference, so it automatically update in the match card. And then what we're gonna do is actual array, we just empty it, because now open cards again you can select another 2. And in the another method that is unmatched, what we're gonna do here is we'll say if it's not matched, just add a class unmatched, and to the second card as well you add the class unmatched. And what we're gonna do is we'll take a set timeout here, because for a fraction of second we want our user to know it's unmatched basically, and unmatched will give us the red color. And what we're gonna do is once it's unmatched, after 1 second or 1100 millisecond, what we're gonna do is we'll remove these classes again. I'll just copy this, because the cards that we have opened already have the show and open classes, as well as we added the unmatched classes, so we want to remove the unmatched as well. So if I show you how it looks basically, so if I select some random, see the red color comes, and after 1100 millisecond it goes away. So when it goes away, it comes to the set timeout and it removes the show class, open class, and the unmatched class. And once it's done, what it will do is it will again empty the open cards, because open cards we can open 2 cards at a time. Now what I want is we want to perform some action when to enable the card and when to disable the card, right? So what we'll do is we'll create another function here. We'll say this dot action. We are saying whenever we are adding the unmatched class, that time section. So what we are trying to do here is, I'll go back to the code. The time it's unmatched, I should not able to click any other card. All cards should be disabled when 2 cards are open, even though it's unmatched. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'll say trigger an action disable, so it will disable all the cards in the grid if 2 cards unmatched. And here it will do, once we reset or remove the cards back to a normal state, we enable the rest of the card. Okay, so we'll create another method here, action. Action will take the action that you're passing, and what it will do is it will fetch all the cards that are available first. And for that we're going to use the query selector. So I'll say cards equal to this dot template dot query vector all, and we are giving a class that is card, because we are never adding or removing the card class. We are just playing with the other classes. So the card is the best class to fetch all the cards. And then what we are doing is we are saying array.from. We are converting this node like array structure to a proper array using array.from. And then we are running a loop for each, and it will say each card. I'm calling it as an item. So each card first will check whether the user has sent any action equal to enable. If user wants us to enable all the card, what we're gonna do is first we'll check in the item, means in the each card, go to the class list and check whether that card has a match class or not. If it is a match class, it you don't have to do anything. It should be open always and it should be disabled as such. Okay, so what we will do is we'll say let is match. It means the card is already matched and disabled, so we don't need to enable those card. So we'll say if the card is not match, means it's a different card, then go to the class list of that card and remove the disabled property or disabled class basically. So this action is for enable, and similarly we'll check if action equal to disable. What we want during the time of disable is just add the disable, make the all card disable. So we'll say in each item go to the class list and add the property disable. When we click, it perform the action enable or disable and enable. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some classes to our CSS like match class. So I'll go here, I'll copy this, paste it below, and I'll say within the container, whenever we have a card with a match class, it should have a cursor default, should not be a clickable basically. That's why we are changing from hand icon to a arrow icon. We're telling change the background to a yellow color, change the font size to 33 pixel, and even animation of rubber band. And I'll paste the rubber band animation as well just below this one, pin. So it also just scale 3D, means it will little bit increase the size and come back to a normal, and it flip like a 3D. It will call the rubber band and make the visible, and the duration of the animation for 0.75 second only the animation will trigger. Then the next class show and open is already available. Then we are looking for a unmatched class, and in the unmatched class I'll copy the same styling, but unmatched should have red color background and animation is little bit pulsive. So what we are saying is animation name is pulse, we'll create that animation, and the color is of pink color basically. And what we're gonna do, we'll just paste the animation. The animation is there for the pulse. It's just a transform 3D. You can explore this in the CSS. This is the rubber band one. It's just a transform 3D. You can explore this in the CSS. This is the rubber band one. It's just a transform 3D. You can explore this in the CSS. This is the rubber band one, and the other one is flipping. So now we have our all the classes and everything is in place. So let's see whether our moves are working fine or not, or our other stuff is working fine or not. So now it's deployed. Let's go to our actual game and refresh the page. Earlier we were able to select multiple. Now it should not allow us to select the multiple cards at a time. And the move should dynamically go ahead whenever we select two cards. So now if I select first card, the second card, now you see it's matched. If I select first card and the second card, it's unmatched and it go away immediately. It add the unmatched class and disable. Now the move is 2. If I select third one, it's unmatched, move is 3. So now our functionality is working fine. What I want is my move is working fine. I want my timer to trigger, right? We'll go and write the timer function now. And here we are giving right now the hard coded value. So we'll say total time and I'll go to yes, on the top I'll create another property total time. I can initialize with 0 seconds or 0 okay, so total time is there, and at what time we can update this time? We can create a timer function basically. So the timer will call whenever your first move is done. So when we call display item or display card basically, and when the length become 2, we'll check inside this, we'll say if this dot moves equal to 1. We just want to trigger our timer only once when the first move is completed. We don't want our timer to call it, and I'll call a timer method inside this. And let's create a timer method. And in this timer method, what we can do is we want to create a stopwatch sort of scenario. So we'll say let's start time equal to new date, and what we want is after every second my timer should increment. So for that we're going to use our timing function set interval. This the timer set interval gets called up every second, so we'll pass every second means 1 second as a time interval, and within this it will called, we'll say the difference of the time is new date dot get time, and new date, not the factor demo. It will fetch the latest time till the time the set time interval reach, minus the first time we noted down our start time dot get time. So when the timer starts, suppose that time some date and time was there, from that we will minus the time the timer reach. So it will gives us the difference of the seconds basically. So that is the difference. And what we're gonna do is we'll say math.floor the percentile on difference divided by 1000. We are just converting into a proper format of paid converting into a proper format of second, minutes and day or hour. I'll say for minute I did percentile 3600 divided by 60. These are all mathematical calculations. Guys don't need to worry much about this calculation. So we are just taking out the minutes and second, and now what we're gonna do is we'll say const minute to display, because I don't think you will take 1 hour, so we are not going to show hours here. If minute is greater than 0, then minute plus minute equal to 1. It's there. What I'm trying to do is, if minutes are single, it should show minute. Otherwise minutes. Right, so this is what we are trying to do. And because if it's minutes, so definitely seconds is comes next to it. That's why we are giving the comma here, and we're giving some space as well. Otherwise, if nothing is there, just make it empty. Okay, similarly, we copy this and we'll say show seconds, and if your second equal to 1, second is greater than 0, and we'll say s display. Now it will gives us minutes and the seconds that has been passed. And now we're gonna show this into a property, this dot total time equal to m display plus s, and in the seconds we don't have to give any space or comma, we can remove. So as soon as the moves become 1, the timer function gets called up, it generates the timer, and we want this timer to stop as well, right? So we'll store this reference of the timer reference into a property, and that property we're gonna create on the top here. We'll create this so that initially it is undefined. As soon as the timer trigger, it take the reference of the timer, which timer he has to close basically. And what we want is whenever all the cards are completed, means all the cards are matched, we want this timer to stop basically. For that, what we can do is we'll go to a matched function and we'll say if is dot matched card dot length equal to 16, because we already storing the cards that are matched in the matched card. So if all the cards are stored in the matched card, their length becomes 16. So that time we'll say window dot clear interval. This is a JavaScript or native property. So I'll say then you just go and clear the interval, means just remove the interval that is running or the timer that is running. So this will close the timer that is running. And what we can do is, apart from this, we have a restart functionality as well. On click of our this restart, we want to restart the game again. So what we're gonna do is we'll say on click of the restart icon, that is this icon basically. Right now nothing is happening. We want all the cards go back to the original state, moves become 0 and the time becomes 0. The shuffle is my function, and we'll create a function here, js or x below our timer. Shuffle gets called. We'll go to the top and bring most of the properties as it is, because we have to reset these properties. So I'll say I want this dot open card to be empty. I want this dot match card to be empty. I want this dot total time to be 0 0 again. I want this dot moves to be 0 again, and I want my timer to be stopped. For that I'll do window dot here interval this dot time reference. We are stopping that. Apart from that, we want to remove all the classes from the card. For that, what we're gonna do is this dot template dot query selector all card, and we'll wrap this into a array dot from. I'll make it more easier to read. I'll say element, and we'll run the loop on the element. We'll say array dot for each array dot from element dot for each item. We'll say item dot class list dot remove. Which all class we want to remove? We want the show class to be removed. We want to open class to be removed. We want match class to be removed. We want we don't need to remove unmatched, because all match, that's we have to unmatched class will not be there, because after a few seconds it will go away. So we are removing anyhow. Disabled class to be removed. Unmatched class we are anyhow removing here. That's why I'm not removing, because after every whenever it's unmatched after 1100 millisecond it remove the unmatched class. So we'll remove all the classes here. Apart from that, I want my card to be reshuffled. Then only the game fun will be there, right? So once you know the card will always render in this way, but I want to shuffle this card as well, right? So for that, what I can do is we can shuffle the card here itself. So first let's take a copy of the original cards. So we'll say array equal to this dot cards. These cards we are taking out, the cards that we have. We are saying we're taking a copy into an array. We are saying a counter equal to array dot length, that is 16, but it's always good to check dynamically instead of hard coding it. And now we run the loop. We'll say whenever the counter is greater than 0, pick up a index randomly, and that random way to pick up is math.floor math.random, and it should not go above the counter number, so the number should always be randomly in between 1 to 16. So it gives us always a random index. Then we'll increase the counter by 1 minus minus. So now next time it will be 15, and then we'll write the swap algorithm. We'll say temporary equal to whatever is that array of this counter length, counter index. Basically replace that array counter with the array of the random index, and we'll say the array index will have that temperature. So we are just swapping it based on the random index. This is the logic for the swap. I'll just put the comment here. Shuffling and swapping logic. And once we have shuffled the array, our actual array is in array. What we're gonna do is we have to update our actual cards using this. So we'll take the copy and update the cards. As soon as the cards update, our for loop updates. So we have written a lot of code now. Let me deploy it. Let me reiterate what we have done quickly. So we created the timer. Timer will get called whenever our moves reach to the 1. As soon as the timer called, it triggers the timer. Every second, it takes the difference of the start of the timer and the current time. It will increment. It generate a meaningful seconds and minutes on the screen. And after that, we are writing a logic to shuffle. On click of that repeat icon, we are shuffling the card, we are resetting the counters and everything, removing all the existing classes. And while deploying, we are getting the error. So it's simply add form factor demo. There it is. All VS Code autocomplete things. Don't need that. Let's push it again. So now it's deployed. Let's go to our app, refresh the page. Earlier we were just able to flip the card correctly. The moves were working fine. Now we'll test whether the timer is triggering or not. So now you see 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, it started the timer. Have to finish the game as well just to make sure things are working fine. And for that I need to remember which card has one, so I can see this one quickly and just realize if I select first one and the ninth one, then the diamond will be matched. So I'll go there and the first one and the ninth one is matched. Likewise, I quickly look into other stuffs as well. This one and that one. On that one. On that one. On one. All are matched now. And now let's refresh it. It reset it, but card didn't flip it back. So we missed something definitely. And if I come back, I can instead of from, it should be from. I did not convert the element in. I guess the issue because that's why it didn't reset the cards. It stopped the interval and everything was working fine. Let's quickly deploy this and see. And it's deployed. Let's quickly test this. I can reset directly instead of. Now you see it's resetted, moves back to 0, timer back to 0. Now what I want is the last step of this video or this app. Basically, once you match 16, I want to show a pop-up, and that congratulates us basically. So let's go to our VS Code quickly and create a winning message on the screen. I'm using a SLDS model. So let's quickly go to the Google and type lightning design system.com. This is the CSS library given by Salesforce. Here we'll search for model. I'll copy the model and I'll just copy paste the code given in the first model. That is a base model. I'll say show code, copy the code. I'll come back outside the UL tag. I'm gonna paste this code as it is, and here this is the header tag. From the header I'm gonna remove everything. This is the body tag, that is the content. From the content I'm gonna remove the everything, and this is the footer. On the footer I can just keep only one button, that is save. Let's start from the footer only. On the footer we want to show play again instead of save. I'll say play again. Then on for play again I can call the same functionality shuffle that we have for restart. So that will shuffle the deck as well, the grid. Within the body what we can do is can say you made, and in the strong tag we'll say moves, number of moves that he has made, moves. I want this moves to be outside the strong tag. You have made 10 moves basically in total time, to the total time, and want to show their rating, how well they perform, your rating. And to calculate rating we'll write something quickly, and before that what we'll do is we'll wrap this whole model into a if true directive, and we'll say show congratulation property should be there. So show congratulation, once it become true then only load our model. I'll cut the whole model logic and paste it inside the template. In the header we can quickly paste a h2 tag, and which will say congratulations, you are a winner. I'm just using the h2 tag that was given in the header tag, and we'll quickly go and create this property in the JS file. We will on the top we will initialize this property with the false, and we want this property to be true inside our matched scenario, where we will say this dot match dot length becomes 16. So we'll say once it's matched, make our congratulation true, so it automatically show the pop-up. And in the shuffle, when we shuffle it, we want this property to be false. So whenever you even you won or lost, every time the show congratulation property to be false, so that the model will not be visible. And now we have to write the logic for our rating. So for rating what we can do is we'll create a getter. Let's go to the top. Below the card we'll create a getter, the get game rating, and we'll say how many stars he got, right? Okay, so we'll say if number of moves he taken 9, in between 9 and 12, basically this dot moves less than 12, then he got 3 stars. Okay, and if he takes number of moves greater than 13, greater than equal to 13, then he got 2 stars. Otherwise, he got only 1 star. By default, 1 star. Okay, and there it is. Yeah. So here, what we're gonna return is, we'll say if this dot matched card dot length is 16, then return stars. Otherwise, empty array. And in the HTML, we'll go to our model, and there inside this p tag, we'll use a loop, a template for game rating for item, call it as each item as rating. Within this, we'll load a icon star. So the far icon is far hyphen star, that is font awesome icon, and it should have a key. We'll call it as rating. So it is will be a number. So it will show us the star as well. So let's see how it looks once we won the game. So now it's deployed. Let's go to our game. Let's refresh the page. Close the debugger as well. Let's start playing. This one. This is one. Now you see you made 8 moves in 12 seconds. And let's see the logic here. If moves is greater than 9 and less than 12, so we can just simply say if moves are less than 12, then it's 3 star. If moves greater than 13, greater than equal to 13, 2 star. Otherwise, more than that, it's 1 star. That's now it's working anyhow. So we already confirmed. It will show the message. It show the things. Congratulations, you are a winner. And if I say play again, it reset the moves. It reset the timer. It reset the card. So this is how we create a game in LWC, and this is a memory game. Very interesting game. So much things to learn in this. And we covered all the points that we said here except the animation, because animation is outside the LWC, but don't worry, you will get the whole code for this game, so you can build you wherever you want to see the code. You just download the code from the resources and play with it. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.